night to talk about Diddy. I know I haven't been on here in 2 days. Y'all know I've been going through something, but I've been watching, and I've been on Facebook making videos again, talking to some people about Diddy, and people mad at me on Facebook, y'all. They mad at me because it's like right now in my city, it's the men against the women, and I'm kind of agreeing with a lot of the men, and it ain't because I want to, it's just my personal opinion. And I'm starting to realize that if you don't go along with the crowd, you're hated. And I have on the top, y'all, I hope y'all can see it. I just don't want to cut on my lights in here. It's so bright in my living room. Matter of fact, let me cut on my light. Hold on. It's so bright in here. I just hate putting this light on. Hold on. I got my pillows on the back of my sofa. But I have on clothes, y'all. I have on a jumper. So I didn't want to just show everything because I really, I had took off, So I might as well get comfortable with y'all. But people get mad when you have your own personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you don't think like them, they get mad. I'm like, that is just so outrageous for grown-ups. That's what makes the world go around. We are different. That don't mean you dislike somebody because they don't like what you like. Like I said, I don't eat chitlins. A lot of y'all eat chitlins. Should I get mad at y'all? Should I be game banging on the pig? I mean, damn. I ain't gotta like what you like. That don't mean we ain't cool. But you know us. If you don't like what I like, I don't like you. So I'm still saying, let me put it this way. I'm not saying Diddy is innocent of a lot of things that we think he did, and that's the part y'all missing. We think he did a lot of this shit, but the feds ain't proved it yet. He's not up on charges for Tupac, Biggie Small, Kim Porter, Craig Mack, what's his name? Heavy D. He ain't on charges for those. So we think he did it. You don't go to jail for somebody thinking you did something. And then y'all looking at the DV video in the hotel. If y'all would have been watching and following the case like me, you would have heard Judge Mathis and several other prosecutors that's watching the case said, if he was getting charged for that video, that's a misdemeanor. I said that from the beginning. Kicking somebody with some Barbie socks on is a misdemeanor. So he wouldn't get life for that either. This is what y'all understand. Y'all don't want to go by the law, but you want to call him a criminal, but you want to be a criminal and break the law. It don't work that way. We talking law here. Just act like this ain't Diddy. Just act like this is the average Joe. We have to go by the law, and the law says you innocent until you proven guilty. Well, today the verdict came in, and there's one person, Juror 25, and I heard number 5 or something was being disobedient. But they're not following the rules. We don't know if number 25 is saying Diddy is guilty or not guilty. But number 25 going against the grain. The other 11 is chilling. They all together. This one saying yay or nay. He a white man. Been on his job for a long time. So I'm saying to myself, I said, well, maybe he the only one saying guilty. Because I don't think a white dude would just take up for Diddy. Then it dawned on me. I said, wait a minute. That's all Diddy ever hung around was white guys. Clyde Davis, Lucian Granger, all the rich white guys. Maybe he's a Diddy fan. Maybe he likes semen on his titties too. So maybe he's saying not guilty and everybody else saying guilty. So we torn right now, and starting now, and I'm just gonna be real, y'all. You know what this starting to look like me? And people just coming in. I have on a shirt. I'm covering up my boobies because I took off my bra, a half bra. So I'm covering up. But you know what it's starting to look like? It's starting like they playing with us. I'm like, is this a money game? Is it? Because this shit is like, it seems so surreal. It's like, this just ain't a normal thing. I just never seen a case like this. You know what I'm saying? It don't seem real to me. And I'm like, are they come up off the TV? We can't trust nothing that come up out of Hollywood. This shit will psych you out. But I know the Adi, y'all know what I'm trying to say. I know it's real. And I know people sell their souls and they do anything for money. So it's not just a dealer. If they proposition YouTubers, you don't think they proposition Cassie, Daphne Joy, and other people? They propositioning people to change their life. They promise you your heaven now. All you have to do is not believe. And I'm like, who are you talking to? You can strip me down naked to nothing and I'm gonna still stand on the word. I mean, for real, I've been there. I've been down to nothing. And I still stood on the word, never wavered at all with my faith. Because at the end of the day, that's all I have is my faith. You can take everything away from me, and that's all I have is God. You know, so I would never, after losing my mama, my daddy, my sister, my niece, and two aunties, all I did was cry out to God. My bad marriage, homeless in a car, cried out to God. And he the one that took me and pulled me out of situations. So why would I waver on him? But anyway, I digress. I'm going to show you a video. His name is Unique Mecca. This guy, he's the truth. Let me tell you why I'd say he's the truth. He did 25 years in the penitentiary, I believe. He has his own podcast. He was smart. He got out and started his own thing. He know all about technology. I'm trying to reach out to him. When y'all go on his channel, say, go check out Unbreakable Strong Woman. She's trying to reach you. She want to network with you. I've been trying to network with everybody. Willie D sent me his phone number and I misplaced it. So I got to get back in touch with Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. I believe it was his phone number. He said contact. Maybe I'm thinking too highly of myself. Maybe it's just his contact number, the network. I don't know. But anyway, Unique Mecca did 25 years for racketeering. So he's going to tell you how he tried to be the same case Diddy's on. But he did 25 years. And guess who got him out of jail? Yo, Uncle D. 47 got him out of jail. Yeah. But it took 25 years to get him out. I still don't know why did Uncle D pardon him. I'm trying to learn the story. Because if he just willy-nilly giving out pardons, he need to go get my nephew. You know what I'm saying? So he about to talk to y'all about this case. And he know more about the case than I do because he's been in the system, like my brother and all. I get my information from people that's been in there and attorneys. A lot of this stuff I be speaking on is not my personal opinion. It's just what I learned through other people, okay? So check this out. Could y'all please get the likes up? I mean, dang, half y'all came in. Before I even turn on the video, I need y'all to get likes up. I think y'all be forgetting to push the thumbs up. It's those dots on the side. And Veronica, I still, baby girl, haven't got your Cash App. Did you send it to the email? Because I got something for you, Veronica. Mr. Rain, love you, girl. I hope that helped you out. And once again, I want to thank everybody that sent Cash Apps and love. Please keep supporting the channel. It's going to a good cause. As you see, I bless other people when I get blessed. But that's part of YouTube is support the channel. If it's $1, Juvenile always send me $2 a dang on video. No matter what I'm talking about. Juvenile, here go $2. Here go $2. 8 quarters, you know, that's 8 quarters add up, Juvenile. Thank you. So whatever you got, I appreciate it. And I try to help people that's in need. Veronica lost her dad. So Miss Janice made sure that I break bread. So I'm going to make sure that I give a donation to her family. Because I know how I feel to lose a parent. It's horrible. Most of you know too. It's horrible. So we got to support each other. We sit here talking about Diddy and this woman that lost her father. So sometimes you got to take a time out and say, wait a minute, reality check. You know, but we praying for you, darling. All right. Can y'all get my likes up? I'm giving y'all 2 more minutes before I turn the video on. They holding y'all up seeing the video. Until then, we just talk. What y'all been doing? What y'all been up to? TK, hey. What is this? Awareness. How you doing? my candy because I've been drinking mushroom tea and haven't really been eating because it takes your appetite. But my mom is so I want something sweet, so I'm eating on some of these Mentos. But do y'all know? Since I said free Diddy, unless they prove something different, I done lost about 20 subscribers. It's just never seemed to amaze me that grown folks get discombobulated and just in a tight wad about somebody else's personal opinion. That's just absolutely ridiculous to me. Half of y'all said Diddy guilty. I'm not mad at y'all. Okay. I'm just saying what I viewed. If they come back guilty, I ain't gonna trip. I'm like, damn, Diddy, man, Diddy. No, I can just wish for the best for the brother. But it ain't personal. Like I said, my credit ain't gonna go up. My rent ain't gonna get lowered. Gas prices ain't gonna change. Eggs ain't gonna go down. I mean, nothing drastic gonna happen if they find him innocent or guilty. So why y'all mad? Anyway, let's go ahead and watch this video. Get my likes up. I'm gonna keep checking back, and you know I gotta keep stopping the video because that's YouTube rules, or I would get flagged. And I give all credit to this live video to Unique Mecca Audio. Brother did 25 years. Check him out. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, I got my fireplace on, but it's not burning. I don't feel no heat. I just like the way it looks. Let me cut the light off. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. And I have Donnie here. You see his car sitting right there? His car down here parked in the living room. Hopefully he don't wake up. So, y'all know how Sonny want to act. Can y'all see everything okay? Here we go.
Alright, you know what it is, Unique Make Audio, man. We in the house. We're going to break, we know it's breaking news, so we're going to see what it is, and I'm going to break it down so we're going to get the people that don't believe that a man that's sat in jail for 26 years fighting this very same RICO charge, dealing with these predicates on appeal for 20 years. I fought this, and I already see where they're messing up, and I'm going to break it down. But let's get him to tell the breaking news. He ain't as live as me, but, you know, he's still doing breaking news. Told you.
Y'all hear it?
Unable to predict all the facts. The facts hearing is out. Adding your quote on prosecutor.
It's messing up on his end.
Instructed briefing. Patients and the next steps are prepared. Right now. Now, unpersuadable opinions. That means they couldn't persuade them to roll with them, so it's getting hectic. And what I don't like, I'm gonna ride right from the beginning. What I don't like is how that juror sent it out from the back, right off the rip, where the 11 jurors went against the one and saying he's not following the rules. Not agreeing with y'all is not following the rules.
Right.
Somebody explain to me what's going on. Or maybe I could be right and we look at all different circumstances.
Y'all hear what he said? That one juror is not agreeing with the 11. So they went to the judge and wrote a letter and said he's not following the rules. The rules are you got picked to do jury duty, listen to a case, and say what you think about the case, if he's innocent or guilty, which this whole system, I swear, God, it is the dumbest shit they ever came up with. These are average Joes off the street, go to the grocery store, have families. They go home every day after this case too, and they shouldn't have ever let them go home on this big case. But they average people. They get to tell somebody their destiny in a few weeks. You could take somebody's life away for what you heard in a few weeks. This is crazy to me.
Do you think maybe the 11 people went back there and just said, yo, this is just a bunch of crap. We got to find out guilty. Let's just get out of here and get to a holiday. You know?
Right.
And then the one said, no, I think we need to look into this further and do what the judge said. And then they said, nah, we ain't trying to hear that, man. We already know it's a bunch of crap. You know what I mean? I can't even believe he's going to trial for this. This is what the 11 said. The one said no. But then again, riding. that one juror could have been the one that went in there and said, nah, I can't find him guilty of this because the whole thing is a bunch of crap. And they say, no, but just follow the rules and do what the judge said. Nah, I can't do it. It's a bunch of crap. And they're like, no, but you can't. So now they write a note and tell them. So either that one juror was with Diddy or against Diddy. We know that much. Let's get back to this. Outside of her house, along with right on fire, I was start with kind of caught up on where, right? I'm sorry, it sounds like, well, I mean, don't get expert. I want to go to trial straight, Brian Buckmeyer. Brian, break this down. You heard about asked from the judge by my calculation, roughly about 6. What was that? No.
I don't know what's going on with the audio. Hold on, y'all. It's not. I don't think he knew his audio was doing that.
Don't work that way. The statute says, per Richardson versus United States, that I've been showing y'all for the past few videos, all his lawyers had to do was look at unique Mecca audio. The jury have to be unanimous and specific. So now, right, can we ride? We got 34, witnesses up there that testified, and they're trying to say that they could decide which one. You have to be specific as far as which occasion, which time and date that's in an occasion.
Loving myself, stop believing everything you see on the video. Do y'all know for the last week, people ain't calling me, Diddy walked. I get on TV, they hadn't even had the closing yet. Then all day today, Diddy getting off, Diddy guilty. People doing this for views. Loving myself said, Ticket said that Diddy got life, he's guilty. Listen, they haven't even came back from deliberation. They haven't even said anything yet. If you don't see it on TMZ, on national news, don't even believe it yet. There's a few podcasters you can believe. Right now, how serious this is, go to your local news. It's going to be on your local news. Trust me. Go to TMZ. Go to the Breakfast Club. They're going to tell you the truth. Anybody else, even me, I ain't going to sit and lie on. I'm going to tell y'all what happened. Because I'm like, what I'm lying for? I ain't trying to use that bad. I'm going to throw bad juju on somebody and say they got life. But let me answer a question real quick. Somebody asked me, hold on, let me find it. Mickey59 said it was the liquor company. Diddy sued the liquor company, right? I didn't know they owed Diddy $2 billion. So this is revenge. $2 billion. Now you see why they raided his house. They owe him $2 billion for racial discrimination. Okay. Hold on. Somebody else said, hold on. I can't find it. Oh, I don't know who it was. Daphne, I think. Yeah. Daphne said, what rules? They said this person breaking the rules, and you're absolutely right. What rules? It ain't no rules besides following what the judge say. Come up with tell us your thoughts, what you think. And it's kind of impossible unless it's just cut and dry to get 12 people to think the same. A lot of times, the jurors come together and say guilty because they feel forced or they just tired and they want to go home. The 4th of July Friday. Half these people just want to go home. So Diddy destiny is in somebody's hand that want a party for the holiday. Do you hear me? But for them to say this person breaking the rules, no. Their opinion is what they paid them to do. Give their opinion. This is what I think. I heard the case, and this is what I think. So if this person don't want to side with the 11, it ain't no rules to be broken. That's the law. But these are games they play.
You can't just say he transported Jane Doe when Jane Doe testified about how she called him because she wanted to freak off and she flew to go see him. Or
Right.
Cassie wanted to freak off and she brought him to her. It could be either or. Because we know those there is not as far as that. But at the same time, we also have where you can say that on the occasion when they was at the hotel on June 5th, 2015, this happened. Not that Cassie, or Jane Doe is who he transported, because they spoke about a lot of freak offs and a lot of trips that they made on their own. Or is it just because he paid for them to fly that made it transportation?
You understand what he's saying? The RICO, they're trying to say it's RICO because they went out of town with Diddy. Diddy had the money, so Diddy was paying for everybody's flights. Or he transported them on his private plane. But nobody was forced against their will. Nobody was threatened. They went out of state and they sent for the ex-workers to show up. The ex-workers got paid about $15,000. They got a free vacation and money, and they got buck wild on vacation. Now tell me what's the difference in this? You go out of town with your man or your woman. Y'all on the say y'all in Jamaica. And you think about people at home that y'all used to get freaky with, right? Wouldn't it be fun to call Mendingo and your girlfriend say, yeah, would you like me if I fly him out, baby? We can have a threesome. Call him. And Diddy send for the person, they fly out. You send for them, they fly out. Now the three of y'all on the island, drinking, partying, having fun, and later on you have X. That's racketeering. If they go and say, well, he paid for me to come and we had X, you can go to jail for that. So all of you that's having threesomes, y'all better sit y'all freaky asses down, because this shit is serious. The way they twisting the law, your ass go catch a case. All these men running around here, I like threesomes. You finna threesome your ass into the penitentiary. That's what you gonna do. Because now they got this Mann Act, and it came from transporting white girls, that they using it against any black person. Sit y'all black butts down, or you gonna be charged.
Now, if that's the case, that means that when we ride, that means that if there's a plumber and he meets a girl, like I said, at a plumbing convention, advisor from Nebraska to Utah.
He finna say it.
Is that ex-trafficking?
Right.
Is that transporting? Because it was his money that paid. You see how technical this get? And if y'all watch this, they get away with this with Diddy, and I'm gonna keep it 100. It's not looking good for the diddler. If he would have did what I said, he would have been excellent right now. Because all they're doing is saying that then there's 5 acts. These 5 acts got to be 5 people, and these 5 people testified to, 20 acts. 30 different occasions of things that happened. Some that was permissible and some that wasn't permissible. That's why I was supposed to be on the verdict sheet exactly what act they intended to use, and it was supposed to be a date and an occasion. Not that he transported a person, because there's times that the person spoke on, they went to meet up with him to transport themselves by getting to the freak off. You see where I'm at with this? Now, let me ride and tell you how my case went. Maybe that'll help you understand this a little better. I had 3 mules, right? That's what they call them, a drug mule. I had 3 people, they say, drove up and down the highway, and they drove up and down the highway with X amount of drugs, in the stash spot at each, occasion. And then now we turn around, they say, sometimes it was crack, sometimes it was powder. Sometimes, then they even said, we didn't even know what type of drugs it was. So now they say that they were, sometimes, they said one time they drove and the car was empty, When they went to calculate my drugs, they took it and they said, okay, you got 3 people, they testified to making 75 trips times 3 keys each adds up to 330 keys. And I'm like, but hold up. Sometimes they even testified themselves that at times they transported the car that made these 75 round trips that you're talking about, and there wasn't no drugs in it. So how do we know if they're not picking the occasion when there was no drugs in it? Because if no drugs, it was no drug violation.
right?
And they said, oh, the jury knew in their mind. I took that all the way to the Supreme Court. Went to the appellate court, they laughed at me. They said, yeah, the jury know in their mind, get your black ass out of here. So then now I went to the Supreme Court. I went to the Supreme Court, said, get your black ass out of here. So now they're using my case to deny a bunch of people, and then now they use to deny a guy named Eddie Richardson, vice lord from out of Chicago, him and his brother, and they use my case as what they call the precedent. Not president, precedent. Right? The precedent case, which was the first case that was ruled on this issue, because I was the first one. I was one of the first ones in the country that raised this issue that I'm talking about, and I won that issue in the Supreme Court, because by the time it got to the Supreme Court, even though the Supreme Court didn't grant certiorari for me, they granted certiorari for Eddie Richardson, and when Eddie Richardson went up there, they had to look at my case in order to determine their case. And the Supreme Court said, just because there was a lot of violations that went on, that because the predicates or elements of the...
A careless driver.
Yeah, no, I can't show commercials, so hold on. Let me fast forward while I'm doing this. Hold on. Another way they saying it's as trafficking. Did you hear what he said? Hope I ain't too close to the screen. Let me sit back. Ladies, gentlemen, pay attention. If you meet somebody out of town, like I had met Leon when he was in Chicago, I'm in Grand Rapids. Say that Leon said, because Leon came to see me the first time we met. Say if Leon would have said, oh, it's back on, but let me explain what I'm saying. Hey, Nina, come see me. I give you some gas money. I drive down there or catch the train or however he want me to come. I go to Chicago. We sleep together. We have a good time. And I come back home and say that he trafficked me. Do y'all know that's a crime now? This is what they turn it in racketeering into. If somebody fly you somewhere, that's transporting. That's sex trafficking. So you can't transport nobody nowhere. You can't meet nobody and pay for them a ticket. Because if you do, you better hope they don't get mad. Because if they get mad and go to the police and say, you paid for them to come down there and they slept with you, that's prostitution and sex trafficking behind these women that Diddy messed with. They didn't made it look bad for everybody. So I don't know what the girls on OnlyFans go do. Because that's how they make their money. They fly out, they meet folks, they get paid $5,000. It done got so bad for women. Let me tell y'all, this case, they made it so bad for women. Y'all thought we didn't have no good brothers before. Now we ain't gonna have nobody want to talk to our asses. Do you hear me? We gonna have men scared to say hello. Because it's women now, if you tell them, oh, baby, you look nice, I like your outfit, you're sexual harassing me. You can't even give a woman a compliment no more. And I'm saying this to all of our brothers. Don't say nothing. And another thing I'm going to say to my brothers. If somebody harassing you, call Popos. I'm just being real. She's sexual harassing me because we got it bad. Y'all see, I say king to or 30 times a day. But let them say, well, she a bad hoe. She a pretty bee. We assess sexual harassment. So I'm guilty of looking at dudes and be like, king to all. That is really sexual harassment. We're not supposed to be looking at nobody lusting after them. But what we do, we get away with this shit because we're females. Didn't y'all see Christian Keys say a woman on the set, somebody big and famous that played in a Tyler Perry movie with him, kept sexual harassing him, grabbing his behind, putting their hands between his legs, and he had to really get mad and say, stop doing that. But let him did that to her one time. His ass would have been under the jail. So we got to stop doing that, man. It ain't right. But now, ladies, if you ain't already got a man, I don't know what to tell you. It don't look good for us.
That means that there has to be a unanimous and specific verdict. Meaning all 12 jury is unanimous. And specific is they got to pick a specific drug violation. So with Diddy, they have to pick a specific transportation or specific rate or specific, you know what I mean? Whatever. So they got to pick a date and an occasion. They can't just say, oh, he transported Cassie. Right? Okay, so you're trying to say every time he transported Cassie was against the law. So every time Cassie got to him, what about the time that Cassie testified she got to him and, she took a plane to get to him?
Right.
Oh, I mean, come on. Let's get back to this. Y'all got where I'm at with that, right? They should have been specific. Beanie didn't do that, but I guarantee you this. I guarantee you that they will be raising this issue on appeal. Could they have done this so that they could get more money for an appeal? Because if Diddy beat the case, the cash cow was uptown. The tail is tough. But if Diddy's found guilty, then they get appeal money. You think it could be why they not listening to Unique Make Audio? Okay, let's get back to this.
Yeah, I don't think he knew we couldn't hear that until after he recorded it. Let me fast forward a little bit. You can't hear what they're saying.
Good for the diddler. I'm gonna keep it real. The reason why it's not looking good is because if he was not guilty of the other 4 counts, then it would be easier for them to just go right to RICO and say that he didn't violate any of these predicates. So therefore, there is no RICO. So obviously, it's look.
He said it don't look good. That makes sense. If he was innocent of all the other counts, it wouldn't be hard to say he was innocent of the RICO. The RICO is what's on the table. They can't come into agreement with the RICO, so 9 times out of 10, they say he's guilty of all the other charges, which is bull crap to me. I cannot imagine 11 people agreeing with this case. This is absolutely ridiculous to me.
Like they found him guilty of something. Just keeping it 100. Like I said, I don't want no man to go to jail, no matter what color, creed, or whatever. But it is what it is. Now, that's not looking good for the diddler. 4 counts and 4 counts to be used as predicates. Those 4 substantive counts, those are called substantive counts, right? When they show them on the board, the substantive counts mean those is direct counts that warrant a verdict, right? A unanimous verdict. And then the predicates also warrant a unanimous verdict. But with the substantive count, if they find you guilty of the substantive count, there was a unanimity verdict.
He know the law.
Because they found you guilty, all 12.
Can I get my likes up, please? Y'all still slackers tonight. It's the white thumbs up. The dots is on the side. TK reminds y'all nonstop. We got to get these likes going to keep the channel going. If y'all enjoy my commentary, y'all enjoy my laughter, my jokes, you got to show love. You got to let YouTube know that you love Nina, okay? Please do that. But this young man, for people just joining, this is Unique Mecca. He did 25 years in the penitentiary for racketeering. And Donald Trump pardoned him. He got him out. Because I think he was facing life. But he did 25. That's why this brother know a lot about the law. You go in that penitentiary, you study the law, you know it inside out. He pretty much told Diddy what to do. I don't think he told him personally, but he was getting it to him like, you need to do this, this, and this. And they didn't listen. And this is why Diddy may be getting found guilty tomorrow. It may be, we don't know, but it don't look good. They said Diddy was crying today, y'all. People say he pretty much shedded tears in the court today.
You see what I'm saying? That's how they get tricky. But when you're dealing with the overt acts, as predicates, they don't have to be a verdict, but they have to be a proven or not proven in it. Matter of fact, I had a partial video. I ain't gonna get it up right now. But that's where we at. So we know that it's not looking good like if he was found guilty of, at least 1 or at least 2 of the predicates, I would say. I would say that he must have got found guilty of at least 2 of the predicates for them to be looking at the RICO. So now they're looking at the RICO, and that means that, oh, could we like to ride? You know, I like to just give y'all all kinds of different scenarios, right? So it could also be that being that if they found them not guilty of everything, right? Then they have to go, they might have. They might have found them not guilty of the 4 counts, and now they look at the RICO, and then they're going to go to the predicates. But if they found them guilty of those substantive counts, those are the predicates. It's no good for Diddy if they found him guilty of any 2 of those charges, because those are the direct predicates that already got a unanimous verdict. You understand that? But the overt acts and the acts that they mentioned that was spoken about that did not go in front, you know what I mean, that the jury didn't find, right? That means that, man, this is just ugly. It's not looking good for the Diddy. You know what I mean? But like I said, if they went and just scrambled all over, you know, then they said, well, let's do this count, and let's then do this count, and then let's do this count, then that's...
I don't care y'all my opinion. I know a lot of people ain't gonna agree with me. I'm starting to believe the feds are so dirty that they make people go their way. How you have 98% conviction rate if you're not threatening folks? So you saying you only wrong 2% of the time. You hear me? It ain't adding up to me. And we watched this case together. Even if y'all don't like Diddy, even if y'all think Diddy is a villain, they didn't prove none of that in this trial, and y'all guys know it if y'all want to admit it or not. Daphne, Joy, Cassie, Bonique, whatever the other girl name, they all, Capricorn, they all lied on the stand. They all committed perjury. They should be facing 20 years for lying under oath, because that's the law. If you perjure yourself, that's 20 years. Hold on, my son is crying. Here, baby. Don't fall, bud. That's 20 years. But they haven't even mentioned perjury. So they want me to believe that it's not possible for the feds to go in there or meet each juror by themselves and say, hey, we need you to do this, this, and this. Don't you like the school your daughter go to? Or do you remember that fine you had? Or you know that charge your son got? I mean, it's easy for them to make threats. Because they met with the witness 34 times, 20 times. Why you meeting with somebody that many times? That means you're schooling them on what to say. Because if they're coming to you telling you what happened to them, what you got to meet with them 30 times for? You practicing something. You hear what I'm saying? And I know for a fact, a female here in my city knew about 2 guys that did something. The girl had a good job, a career job through the state. She wouldn't tell on her boyfriend because she felt like it wasn't her business. I'm not telling nothing. And it was like, well, you ain't gonna say nothing? They took her job. They took her kids. They took her house. She still wouldn't talk. That girl right now started over. She pretty much ain't got nothing what she went to school for because she wouldn't tell on somebody. So I know what they do. So if they all saying that Diddy is guilty right now, somebody pulling some strings, man, because this case was too weak.
Where they could have found them not guilty of all of those charges, and then now they're looking at the RICO last because they knew RICO was going to be harder to deliberate on. So they may have went with the substantive count and found them not guilty of the substantive count, and then now they're looking back at the RICO and the substantive counts that they listed in the RICO that was not predicate violations. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? See how smooth I am with this? And we got these rat bastards that come up here and then they talk crap. Oh, how does he thinks he's a lawyer because he did time and he fought his case because his case is just his case. No, my case was the statute that Diddy is fighting. Remember that. My case is the statute that Diddy's fighting. So the statute is like saying the statute is the cake and the elements is the ingredients to the cake. The ingredients to the cake is flour, milk, you know, and egg. If you replace the milk and put it with water, you bake it, it comes out good, look good, tastes good. It's not a cake because when you test, I'm gonna take you on a crazy ride with another case, right? I know a lot of y'all watching this don't know a lot about cases, but interested in cases. Check it out. My man went out, right? I got to be right again. This is a good one. This is a good one. My man, right? It was a dude I got from Connecticut, right? One of the homies, you know, Dominican cat. He goes out and he's selling drugs way up there in like Vermont. So he up there in Vermont, he doing his thing, he's selling that amount. Minute, then there's this little white, you know, European girl. You know, I don't want nobody to say that I'm being the R word. But there's this little European girl, right? Pale skinny young lady. She went and got high all day. You know those people that get high. She went from this dude's house to that dude's house to that girl's house, and she had some mollies, she had some ecstasy, she had some coke, you know, she smoked some weed, she drank some liquor, and she had all these different drugs in the system. And then she get to the homie house. When she get to the homie house, she has heroin. He gives her some heroin, she takes the heroin, shoots the heroin, and then she ODs, and then they sentence them for giving her the drugs that took her life. So that's why the government was trying to say when the jurors sent the note out, asking if someone asks for drugs and you give the drugs to that person, does that fall under the RICO? Remember, what's his name, O'Connor? The dude, All in the Family.
That's something else they've been talking about today, y'all. If someone asks you for drugs and you give them to them, you pretty much is part of RICO. And there's a clause in there somewhere. Especially if you give them the drugs and they die. Now you a murderer. Do you see how the law, it changes depending on the person and how the judge feel or how the prosecutor feel? Because it's been cases this happened and a person wasn't even responsible. So it's up to how the judge woke up that day. That's crazy. Now tell me, how many of you smoke marijuana or smoke cigarettes? And you ask somebody, you got a cigarette? They give you a cigarette. And say you fall out. After you smoke a cigarette, you just fall out dead. They can charge you for giving that person a cigarette. Do y'all see how life is getting really technical? You ain't gonna be able to get nobody no cigarette, don't get nobody a piece of gum, don't get nobody nothing. We gonna have to walk around here like zombies in a minute so we won't go to jail. You may say, oh, somebody they cute and they go commit suicide, they gonna say you killed them. I mean, it's just crazy. This law is just nuts to me.
Cal O'Connor was on a big crusade. I don't know whatever came out of that because it didn't affect me. That was way back.
Here we go again, y'all. I can't show the commercials.
Watch this before it's too late.
Okay.
The nationwide roof repair and replacement website makes it possible for all U.S. home...
Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second.
They said she went to this person's house, that person's house, did this, and everywhere she went, she had a different drug. I said, okay, so she had multiple different drugs in the system, right? He said, yeah, she had multiple different drugs. I said, okay. And then, you know, when you gave her the heroin, she shot it up and she OD'd, right? He said, yeah, she OD'd off the heroin. I said, stop saying that. She didn't OD off the heroin. You don't know if she OD'd off of one of the other drugs,
right?
Or a combination of all the other drugs or another drug with that heroin.
Right.
We know that heroin was the most potent drug, but maybe the mollies or the ecstasy mixed with the heroin didn't give her body a good chemical reaction. Give me
Let me give y'all an example of what he's talking about. Y'all remember George Floyd? Remember he was on the ground hollering for his mom and the police had the knee to his neck? Well, in several people's eyes, George Floyd died from the drugs that were allegedly in his body, right? He didn't die from the knee to the neck that we watched him gargle and couldn't breathe. Because he had drugs in his system, they blamed it on that. Well, that's how he died. It wasn't because what y'all see, y'all really didn't see it. So that's the games they play, and the police still got the 20 years. But they want you to believe this is what it was, but if it's two different things, how can you say that's what it was? Now, we watched George Floyd die. We know what he died from. And I argued with a person about this, and they thought I was crazy. I said, okay, let me give you an example. Let me break it down so you can understand in preschool lingo. Say somebody has cancer. They driving down the street and get hit by a semi. The crash kills them. Can you say they died from cancer? No, they died from an accident. But this is what they're saying, because of this thing, this is what it was, because of this. No. We ain't talking about the last drug the girl used. She was shooting up heroin with. We talking about she had 4 or 5 drugs in her system. So how you gonna say the heroin that the man gave her is the one that killed her? See, it's just this law, man. Y'all just stay away from these people. That's what I'm saying. Stay out of trouble. Trouble easy to get in and hard to get out of. I advise y'all to just stay away from trouble. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself in a penitentiary. Can y'all get my likes up, please?
Give me 50 books of stamps. It's only $250. Give me 50 books of stamps and I'll write it up and you will send it to your lawyer. He wrote it up, sent it to a lawyer. He's home in Connecticut now. I told him stay your ass out of Vermont. You know? But that's because when there's multiple things to choose from, you have to know specifically which one violated the law. So you have to know which drug took her life. You don't know if it, let's say it was the heroin or the Molly, the heroin and the ecstasy. Let's say it was the Molly and the ecstasy. You know what I mean? Triggered with the heroin. You see where I'm at? The homie beat it, went home. Next ride.
David Bell, you one of them dangerous people that should never be on jury duty. I'm just gonna be real. He's saying justice for Kim Porter. And see, that's why a lot of people right now can say Diddy is guilty that's on that jury. Because they thinking about Tupac, they thinking about Big, they thinking about Kim Porter. And this don't have nothing to do with the case. So if somebody might find him guilty because they love Tupac like me. I love Tupac. Now just say I didn't have my own mind. Just say I was easy to be persuaded. I'll be sitting here, lock him up because I think he killed Tupac. He not on trial for Tupac. You saying justice for Kim Porter when he haven't been charged? How you saying justice like he killed the woman? They never said he killed her. But you see, this is what I'm saying. I don't like jury duty because it's people like David that get picked and they have their own personal opinions about somebody and they're not listening to the law. They're not following the rules. Do you hear me? And the rules, that's what they might be saying in number 25. The rules are stick to the agenda. What is he being charged with? We're not even supposed to be talking about Kim Porter. So why is you saying justice for Kim? Who said Kim was injustice? Who said Kim was murdered? Nobody's saying that but the people. The law ain't saying it. The people only saying Kim was murdered. We don't have no evidence at all that Kim Porter was murdered. But do you hear how people spit it out their mouth like they know for a fact what happened to Kim Porter? That's how rumors and lies get spread. That's how people lose their life. That's how people go to penitentiary for years off of dumb shit that they heard. David, please don't do that. Until they bring charges up on Kim Porter died from what they said she died from. Leave that alone until they bring it up. For real. I don't care what you think. JK, he's been charged with racketeering and ex-trafficking and arson and manipulation, some crap. It's 4 or 5 charges. But they all, from the witness they had, now if it was different witness, maybe they would have stuck. But from the witness they had, it was weak as hell to me. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, it's a long list.
Allen charge is nothing more than the judge telling them, take your ass back there and don't come back till you get a verdict. End the story. I don't know how they gonna break it down. But bottom line, Allen charges them saying, yo, take your ass in the back. Don't come out of there until you get a verdict. You continue to do it. I know you could do it.
That's another part I don't like about jury duty. The judge told them to go back and don't come back out until y'all come into agreement. So you pretty much telling people that's on jury duty that you hired to do jury duty. Until you agree with everybody, don't come your ass back out. They already told you their opinion, what they thought about what they heard. That ain't good enough. We don't want your opinion. We want you to agree. So stay back there until y'all agree. Y'all gonna miss the 4th of July. Y'all better come up with something together. So that's pushing somebody to change their mind, and they don't want to say none of that. Hold on, y'all.
Facing you doing it. I'm forcing you to do it, but it's not called force. I'm just instructing you. You see how they play games with them? You know what I mean? No, it's the question is when they tell them they can stay overnight, they're not letting them stay overnight and nothing. So that's the question. Yeah. Did anybody hear that they offered Diddy 5 years a couple of days?
Yeah.
A couple of days ago. Would you have taken that 5 years if you was Diddy being in this situation when you would have held out thinking you could be all the way? Because you know you already said that dumb shit that took the plea that you don't went all the way. Because if we went all the way, then it would have been acquitted by all.
Let me speak on that. It's easier said than done. When somebody offering you time and you feel like you're innocent, it's easy to say, I would have took the time. Like I did a plea in my self-defense case of my daughter, defense of others. I had the opportunity to go back to trial, but after the first trial, and it almost killed me, looking at these people that I see hated me and didn't even know me, a bunch of Karens, they already judged me before I opened my mouth, and I'm like, Lord, I just can't take another trial, it'll kill me. So I plead out. This is why the feds have so many conviction rates. People will plead out because they're scared. People plea out because they're tired. You know, I didn't want to get a felony, so I'm like, man, they offering me a misdemeanor. I got to take it. Not thinking it's a high court misdemeanor, not thinking I still got a charge. But just imagine if I would have just fought and I would have also had a felony. So I'm like, I can't do this. That's why people plea out. The people don't plea because they're guilty. They be tired, they be scared, they be intimidated. My nephew, the one I say is doing 30 to 60 years for the $200 gas robbery under circumstantial evidence they couldn't prove. The judge offered him, just before the trial, the prosecutor offered him 12 years. He looked at the prosecutor and said, you can offer me 1 day and I'm going to say no. I didn't do it. This is what people don't understand. It's hard to take a plea when you didn't do something. Diddy looking at it like, I was being freaky with my girlfriends. I was paying grown men to have sex with my girl. Do y'all know how many white women, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I never heard black women say this. White women I used to work with used to tell me they were swingers, and their husband used to pay black dudes to bang them out, and he liked to record it. I didn't heard this. When I worked at a hotel, they had a swinger convention upstairs where they switch partners. This is a real group, swingers. How the hell none of them on them in federal charges? They swipe partners. They walk around naked. They do all kind of freaky shit. They come from all parts of the universe to meet up. So I'm trying to figure out how the hell did he get charged for being a swinger? Because that's all him and his girl is. How many dudes you know that do threesomes? How many of you do threesomes? How many times you done heard dudes say, oh, I have sex with 2 women? That's all he was doing. And the thing of it was, he wasn't even participating. He was over there being retarded, walking around naked with a veil on his face, feeling on his pee-pee, paying other people to do the nasty, because I don't think he can really do his thing no more. And the semen on the nipple thing, I just can't get that part. I think he want to be gay, but he don't want to. I think, you know what I'm thinking about Diddy being I can't say that word. I think Diddy is bi. I'm going to give you my opinion. He's bisexual. But I don't think he wanted the women to see him be bisexual. You see what I'm saying? Now, if the Mendingo would have came in there by himself, maybe he would have went for it. Because Cassie and Daphne Joy in there, he played it off like, I want y'all to do it. I just want some semen on my nipples. But I don't know, no grown man want another grown man semen on his body if he don't like that grown man. So I think he hid it from the women, and he did that shit on his own time. I really believe the stuff about Meek Mills and all the others. I really believe that, but my belief don't mean nothing. They haven't proved it. So, hey.
Charged with other purposes. So Diddy would have took this plea for the 5 years and then get acquitted. Then what? But then, being that Diddy didn't take the plea, now he goes, and let's say he gets found guilty. You think he would wish he took the plea? I know he wished he would have gave Cassie that damn money. Instead of letting set that joint in the court, and we wouldn't have been right here now with the domino effect that brought him into the courtroom. Let's go.
But isn't that blackmail? Cassie blackmailed this man. He told her several times he wasn't giving her $10 million. He laughed at her like, I don't care what you guys say it. I don't care. The only reason Diddy ended up paying Cassie, with the insurance company paid her through the record label, is because she added in Motown Records, Bad Boy Records, Lucian Granger. She started adding in other people when she knew about them. So they the ones say, oh, we're going to settle. She's tripping. And they made the insurance company pay her $30 million. But isn't that blackmail? I'm going to tell what I know if you don't give me money. That's against the law. And they haven't charged this girl yet. But I'm going to tell y'all what I know about the law. Y'all remember Keefe D, the one that's in jail for Tupac? Keefe D met with the feds, just like Cassie them did. And they told him if he tell everything, pretty much he get a pardon. So Keefe D told him what he knew about that night, because he was in the car. He started talking about all kind of other stuff. He wrote a book. He did interviews. He all over YouTube like Gene Deal. He was doing all of that. And guess why he's in jail? Let me see the games the feds play. They waited until he did all that shit and did all that talking, thinking he got a pardon for everything he knew. They said, no, you got a pardon for that day in that room. What you told us that day. We didn't give you a pardon for what you got in that book. What you said such and such did, what you said such, what you did. So now they charging him for stuff he said on tour about his book, about what happened. He was talking too damn much. So that's how the feds do. That's why I know Cassie, Brianna, all of them, Daphne, they're going to pay. They're going to eventually get picked up. They're going to get them on something. Just watch what I tell you.
Partial grant is for that no charge. That's awesome.
All right, let me explain that partial verdict. I'm sorry if I keep stopping, because I know these rat bastards and flip-flop ways and public trolls. He's stopping it too much, because you came here to hear me break this down, and I'm doing a reaction to this video, so I'm going to stop it when I feel like it. And if you don't like it, no disrespect, you can tap out.
Right. That's what I'm saying about his video.
I'll give you 3 seconds to tap out. You already know what you're saying. Take that with you on the way. I'll get that out of here. Alright? But anyway, let's ride. Stop. You heard that? All 12 of them. That's unanimity. That's unanimous. That's what have to happen with those predicates that they have listed under the RICO. So that's a whole nother unanimity verdict within that one charge. That's deep, ain't it? That's how it's complicated. I know the jury confused. My jury confused. Listen, let's take a ride. You know, like I say, we already got rid of the rat bastards, so we're gonna take a ride. My judge sat there, right, and he gave these instructions, telling them that, oh, you can find Unique guilty of any one of the predicates as long as one of his co-defendants did it, because he was the leader and it was his drugs, so his drugs is connected to them. Something like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It was his drug, this one touched it, that one touched it, so everything, anybody hands it touched, Unique is responsible. I said, nah, you can't do that. You gotta tell me exactly what you're holding me, what predicates you're using. It's an attitude can know their mind. Keep that in mind. And that's the same thing. I told y'all from last week, man, when I had all these people tell me, oh, you think you're smarter than Bruce Rivers? No, I don't think I'm smarter than Bruce Rivers. That my condolences to his son. Nothing is to disrespect him, but when something is said that's not right, like I said, I challenge Bruce Rivers or any lawyer, and I guarantee you it's going to start coming out, and you see it coming out now, where now they're yelling, oh, the 12 jurors. That's the unanimity I've been talking about. You know? Now, they were supposed to stick with them being specific as to which act. Cassie testified to a lot of acts. Jane Doe testified to a lot of acts. So you can't just say that he transported Cassie or Jane Doe or Cassie and Jane Doe. You have to say at which occasion, at which time, from what location to what location. These are the things his lawyers should have been asking. But if he blow trial, they're going to get another bag full of beer. You see how crazy this is? I had to live through this to learn. Lawyers was raping me. I paid like $250,000 to go to trial.
He said he paid $250,000 to go to trial. But you see how dirty they are? The state get more money for the appeal. And Diddy's sitting there paying his team $10 million. So if he got to do an appeal, that means he got to come up with millions again. Do you see? Now just think why R. Kelly didn't win his case. Why R. Kelly got the short end of the stick. I'm not saying he's innocent, but he didn't have money to fight. Diddy got money to fight. And if they do another trial, he's losing a lot of money. But the man is a billionaire. So Diddy don't really have to worry about finances. He got money everywhere. His kid's godfather is a trillionaire, a white man. They go front Diddy some money. But let me say this, y'all. I still believe if Diddy get found guilty, I believe 47 gonna go get him. He went and got Mecca, Unique, the one we watching. He got him out. He got Kodak Black out. He got T.I. off or something. He's been just getting people out of jail. He just went and got Larry Hoover, even though he's still fighting the state part of it. But the president say let somebody go. I don't care what charges you have. You got to let him go because the president said it. So if he did out for those people, why wouldn't he go get Diddy? And y'all still forgetting this. Diddy been acting like a G. He been holding it down. Let me tell you what I mean. He ain't mentioned nobody's name. Diddy went to trial with his chin up, taking it every which way without mentioning nobody in Hollywood. We haven't even heard Diddy speak. So they looking at him like, oh, then he a down brother. He putting it into, okay. So trust me, he getting a lot of respect from the industry because he's not talking. But if they say Diddy's guilty, if I was Diddy, the first day they say guilty, I'd be like, can I get a pen and a paper? Because some shit for the change around here. I got some stuff to talk about. So they already know if Diddy get found guilty, and I think this is the the way they trying to squeeze him. If we keep squeezing him, he eventually go tell us what we want to know. This shit bigger than Diddy.
We out of 6 charges. And the crazy thing, right? Let me tell you how crazy it is. My joint said that you had to have 3 drug violations in order to be found guilty of the CCE. I was only charged with 1, and I was acquitted of that 1. Then for the money laundering, they said that you have to at least have an overt act in order to be found guilty of the conspiracy to money launder. So now, my actual money laundering count that was also listed as an overt act, I was found not guilty or acquitted by the jury. So that's where Diddy's at, right? This whole. If they acquitted Diddy on those 4 other charges and then they come back and they find him guilty on the RICO because of the confusion that they got, that's where he got to go back on appeal to get them to unravel that. Because right now, Judge Upon Subterranean is not going to call a mistrial at this phase of the game. They definitely don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So that's where we at. You know, this thing is fine. Yeah, 12. You hear that? 10-2 to convict. No, you can't. when you're dealing with the predicates for the RICO, they must be unanimous. Everybody you looking at on the screen must agree to the exact same predicates. And Diddy's lawyer should have had them put in there the specific time, location, and incident that they intended to use from Jane Doe or Cassie or whoever else they was going to do it from. And that's the way that goes. So don't say I didn't tell you, you know? But, you know, where we at? Let's get back. When see, now they talking about the unanimity now, what I'm telling you about. But they know, they can't say no 10 to 2 shit. This is not a state trial, it's a federal trial. We're dealing with an element where the element warrants a unanimous verdict.
Wow.
You see, right there. He said they're going to poll the jury. Poll the jury means have them stand up and say, jury number 25, is this your verdict? Guilty or not guilty? You know what I mean, right, man? What are your predicates? You know what I mean, that you chose? You know, if they were smart, and that's where it's at. Man, this is so great.
And obviously, the public is developing right guarantee from President Fire here.
No. You see what I'm saying? See what it is, right? Let me take this ride. What it is everybody's on pins and needles on the verdict. Even the judge, even the prosecutor. The prosecutor, the judge is like, yo, you find him guilty of anything yet? You know, you make a verdict or anything? At least send me what you got. You know, man, I can't stop biting my nails. Just send me what you got. You know? And he says, we deliberated on it. You know what I mean? And he's like, so now when they do that, 9 times out of 10, they actually sent the judge their ruling, and the judge could relax and say, yeah.
You know what I sound like about the law? They offered Diddy 5 years before, I think, the end of the trial. Diddy said, he said all or nothing. How you offering somebody 5 years for a case this big? Y'all raided 3 mansions, tore this man's house up, demolished his reputation all over the TV, dog walked this man to give him 5 years. They let me know it's something up. You don't offer a case this big 5 years. So I just want something. And Diddy said no. Now, it seems like they making people say what they want them to say because you just offer him 5 years. How he facing life? This is what I hate about the law. If you go to trial, which is your right to go to trial, and don't take their plea because you know you didn't do something, they offer you 6 years, 10 years, you say no, you go to trial, it's like you pissed them off and say you get found guilty. That 10 years, like they did my nephew, they offer him 12 years before his trial. That 12 years turned to the 30 to 60 because he went and fought for his freedom. So it's like you can't win, especially when you poor. Either you take what I give you or I'm going to stroke you. How can that be justice?
We got that. Yeah. Or you can turn around and say, oh, he going to beat that joint. You know, because really and truly in the same world, the judge would have just simply, you know what I mean, threw this out based on the RICO predicates not being there. But they created them, and they're actually using these 2 witnesses that testified and 34 witnesses that testified and said you could use any one of them as a predicate. No, any one of their acts could be used as a predicate, because that's what the predicate is, an act, an individual act of a violation of the statute. You don't know if he transported all 34 people that testified, if he transported them all the time, if they paid for their own trip. Wow, they might have drove there, anything. Man, this gets so technical, man. Listen, y'all better call me. Y'all need some help in the courtroom. Y'all get bagged up, and I hope you don't get bagged up. That's what this video is about. The video is about stopping the crap. Don't get involved in crime. Don't go out on the street. So you ain't got to sit there arrested and fighting for your freedom. I'd rather you sit here and be a rat bastard and flip-flop with in public troll like you was raised to be and just talk crap to me on YouTube other than wind up in these people prison for breaking their law. It's not worth it. Don't come off the porch, don't do it. Alright? But let's be respectful. You use a number because I got a nasty mouth on me too. Alright? So don't call with no bull and then you can't take it. Hey, yo, hold on, let me tell you, Rob. Let me tell you, Rob. Yo,
I'm gonna call him.
I had a troll call me one time, Rob. I only had maybe 2 trolls the whole time, right?
By my
I had a troll
son.
call me one time. And when he called me, he said, you've been in jail a long time. I said, yeah, mama was in there, and my homie was busy demolishing her. I said, your mama D probably bigger than your daddy D. Why don't you go suck your mama D? And I was talking so fast, shooting it at him, telling him, man, you ain't nothing but, you've been on your knees so long, cum snatching, and you're just a piece of trash. He hung up. You know what I mean? I called him back. He had a fit. I said, yo, you stupid, cum drinking, no good, boop, boop, boop. And he hung up. I called him back. I said, you coward. He said, why are you calling me? I said, you called me first. You know what I mean? Let's have some fun. He said, man, lose my number. I said, no, you lose my number. So he hung up on me, and I called him back. I said, you done yet? You know what I mean? Yo, but this is how crazy it is, man. I had some time to kill, so listen, I talk so nasty to this dude. Tell him go suck your mama's dick. You know what I mean? Tell your mama that screw you in the back, pull it out and put it in the mouth, and I went nasty on him. He hung up on me. But he told me to troll me. Called it there right back. Keep it moving. Please, y'all, pay attention to what I'm saying. They got 10 predicates they got to choose from, and he has 5 counts that, they made a verdict on. But if those counts could be used as predicates,
Gotta bring this close to the charger. Hold on, y'all.
from the guilty verdict, then that means that now they got to look at the RICO. But they wouldn't have to look at the RICO if found not guilty of those. Now they would have went and looked at the predicates that was listed under the RICO. And some of the predicates that's listed under the RICO, the acts that's not charged, you know what I mean? Those are predicates, right?
Hold on.
Now, the substantive counts are the ones that brought back the verdict. Substantive count is a direct count. So that's what they got a verdict on. So he might be not guilty of all of those. And then now they're looking at the RICO. So don't be surprised if he still beat this. I'm just giving you all the different scenarios, right? So pay attention now. Y'all can't get this nowhere else. I lived through it and I fought it for all this time, so I already understand. Now, if they found them not guilty of those 4 substantive counts, right? The ones they got the partial verdict on. And then now he's not guilty on that. And then now they're looking at the RICO. So they're looking at the RICO that has its own predicates under it, even though the predicates from the substantive count can be used as well. You understand? But if he was found not guilty of those predicates, then they'll be able to look through the other 10 that they actually listed under the count.
Hold on, y'all.
Defies keeps your home.
Let me get past this. I just cut it down so you can't see it. Because I'm charging the phone, so I can't turn it around right now. My phone is tripping. But Nequa said, just for clarification, to clarify, is he saying the defense team might be setting him up? But you know what? At this point, and how life is, and people selling themselves out for money, you don't know who's selling you out. Diddy got a lot of enemies. I can't even say. I don't know. I'm hoping not. Because karma don't miss nobody. They better hope they ain't playing games like that.
May even have the 5 or the 4 predicate acts listed as a part of that bundle of 10. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So you already know how confusing that could be. Because I know y'all might be confused, but I break this down so good I know you're not, because y'all know how to pay attention. But do you understand what I just said? The RICO charge has 10 predicates that they intend to use, right? The indictment has 4 substantive counts that they said he violated the statute. Those are the substantive counts, is the statute. But then now, the predicates can be overacts or just things that was spoken at the trial. And anything that was spoken at the trial, the lawyer's supposed to write down the date and time it happened so that he can tell them, no, you can't just use all of Cassie's testimony. Cassie testified to things that don't fall under RICO.
Right.
And that's going to be an appeal, or that's how he'll have to go about it. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just an old jailhouse. But, you know, that's how that go. I know y'all got me. See? You see what I'm saying? They always say that, right? Just like with me, right? And with the Supreme Court, right? This is what the lower court said to the Supreme Court. They said, surely, you know, Unique had 75 round trips with drugs. The jury could have picked any one of those 75. And you know what I told them? I said, well, you tell me which one of the 75 they picked.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, it's not on the verdict sheet. Yeah.
You hear what he's saying? How can you pick which one was a RICO when some of those trips was voluntarily? You see what I'm saying? It's set up. A lot of those trips was her and her man going on a trip. So which one is a RICO? When she just felt like, I don't want to travel, Diddy. And Diddy was like, well, I already paid for it. Don't this sound familiar? I don't want to go, babe. The trip already paid for. I don't care if you is mad. Let's go. We ain't wasting no money. All right. I know a married couple, when I was working at the airport, y'all. They came and showed up at 5 in the morning to catch their flight. They was on their way to a 7-day cruise or something. Mad as hell at each other. I said, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all about to go on vacation. I can't stand him. He was like, F her. I said, what the hell? We only going because we already paid for it. So when I think about them, I'm like, damn, did one of them get sex trafficked because they didn't want to go? Because this is what they're trying to call it. She didn't want to go. He was mad. They got on the damn plane, headed to their ship, pissed off at each other. So is that sex trafficking, a RICO, because you made your wife go because you already paid for it? This shit is crazy, man, how they set it up. And then think about R. Kelly. R. Kelly got a RICO. He's in there for 30 to 60 years for RICO. What was his RICO? He had grown women. I know in y'all mind, y'all still believe R. Kelly in there for some kids. No, he in there for grown women. They claim R. Kelly had them in his mansion and wouldn't let them go home, which they went home, they proved that, and they all had cell phones. Now, if you trapped in the closet at R. Kelly house, why are you calling your neighbor next door instead of calling 911 when he gave y'all cell phones? Can somebody explain that to me? You got a cell phone and you calling the girl next door to you. He come in the room with you yet? Nah, not yet. But nobody dialed 911. And they call it racketeering because he crossed state lines with some groupies. How many of you know women that got on tour buses? Or you want to get on a tour bus? And he take you from Atlanta to Chicago because he just happened to like you until he passed you off to his buddy. That's sex trafficking. Do you see how technical this shit has gotten? Ladies, we ain't got nothing coming. Dudes is not going to talk to us. They're going to be scared. They're going to have to talk to us and go downtown to get a whole legal contract to be your man.
How do we know what they pick? It's in their mind. So how do I challenge it? You can't. So how could that be constitutionally fair?
Right.
That's a
violation of your constitutional rights. They didn't cut it off, y'all. Something happened. Something happened. Let's try another one. Hold on. I'm going to try another one. Look at your uncle and your cousin. Uncle D and Elon. What did they do? I don't even want to talk about them right now. Let me find another one real quick. We'll talk about it. Let me see who's good. But he broke that all the way down. I like the way he did that. And just remember, a lot of these are AI videos. You cannot believe the AI videos. Most of these AI videos are lies. Always go. That's Joy. Joy Reid, she's good. Um Make It Make Sense is good. Ahmad is good. Reno normally good. He's into it with Kevin Wisely, which is crazy. I don't know why they bucking like that. They need to stop that. Let me see. I'm trying to look for Sherelle. Ticket. I like Ticket in a way I don't with a lot of things, because Ticket, he gets mad when you don't agree with him. I found myself doing that too, and I had to stop doing that. So Ticket just don't like people disagreeing with him. And I'm like, brother, your podcast the bomb. You make a lot of money. Let people have their own opinion. As long as they're respectful. I never got on his channel being disrespectful, but one time he was live and I didn't realize, and I said something. He said, Unbreakable Strong Woman, something, something, something. And I'm like, oh, he watching me live. But I didn't mean no disrespect. I was just giving my thoughts on his video. But Ticket normally on point, y'all. He normally get a business. He's the real deal. Let's see what he's talking about. Hold on. Let's check out Ticket. Ticket don't like, I'm telling y'all right now, Ticket do not like Diddy at all. So I don't tell what we might hear.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house no matter what.
Can y'all get my likes up, and I'm gonna let y'all go after
Sell
this.
your house for
It's late. I know y'all wanna go to bed. Let's check out Ticket TV. Speed it up. No, we ain't doing it. Okay, here we go.
This is worse than I thought. And as far as y'all can hear me, all right, salute everybody. Y'all smash the like button, share the video, like the video, y'all come on in, man. This is very, very bad, man. And I didn't know this at first. I'm not even gonna lie. And I salute to the legal mind who hit me up and put me onto this game. I salute to them. And a couple people hit me up actually and put me on. A couple legal minds hit me up. The fans don't even need the RICO, y'all. They don't need the RICO to take Diddy's assets. Diddy is in big time trouble. Diddy can lose any asset that was used during the sex trafficking. Whether it be business, home, financial. Let me show y'all what the law says, and which is why Diddy is being crushed. Because not only did he get special sentencing for the sex trafficking charges, which the verdict is already in on those charges. Diddy, and I pulled this up on the screen just so everybody can see what I'm talking about. I told everybody in this channel that the feds went after the RICO. Let me explain this thing a little bit better, why the feds don't need the RICO to take Diddy's money. The RICO gives the feds a broader spectrum of things. Anything, it gives them more ways to go after Diddy's money and everything that Diddy has involved.
His money?
Financially, business-wise, or everything else.
Wow.
The feds don't need that now. The fact that if they have a guilty conviction on any one of the sex trafficking charges, the feds can seize Diddy's assets based off of the sex trafficking. The
Bingo.
feds knew this the whole time.
Bingo. Do y'all hear that? They want to seize his property and take everything from him, so it makes sense. He sued the liquor company for $2 billion and won. They ain't paid him yet, so they want their money back. Now you see what this case about. Seize his assets, but his mother got everything in her name. So what they gonna do? They gonna mess with Miss Janice on some shit. That's what they're gonna do. And then they said it's his mother, his kids. He like spread his money all out. But see, Diddy was smart. He didn't just now put stuff in his mama's name. Diddy never had none in his name. They said Diddy never even had a cell phone in his name from day one. So it's going to be hard to take something that's not in his name. He could have gave his kids a $5 million, $10 million savings bond apiece. That's their money. You see what I'm saying? And that's what Diddy pretty much did. So they're pissed. They coming out after his things, like his mansions. They want to take stuff, but that ain't his name either. So I don't know. The law is crooked as hell, man.
Screaming. Yes, assets can be collected on sex trafficking charges.
Wow.
Asset forfeiture laws allow for the seizure and forfeiture of property connected to trafficking activities, including proceeds from the crime and any assets used to facilitate it. This can include money, property, vehicles, even businesses linked to the trafficking operation. Here's a more detailed explanation. Asset forfeiture. Asset forfeiture is a legal process where assets, property, money, etc. connected to a crime can be seized and taken by the government. Civil and criminal forfeiture. There are two main types of asset forfeiture. We're not even going to talk about civil, but just to inform y'all, I'll go over that right now. Civil forfeiture. This can be pursued even without a criminal conviction, based on the idea that the property itself was used and or derived from illegal activity. Criminal forfeiture. This is pursued after a criminal conviction and is a part of the sentencing process or through a separate forfeiture hearing. So, meaning Diddy would have basically, after he's found guilty on sex trafficking charges, another hearing on the asset forfeiture to where they'll take any and everything, even without the RICO. So Diddy, who he was facing life under the RICO, y'all, they don't even need the RICO now. If they get him on one sex trafficking charge, just one, they can take damn near anything from this nigga that was involved with that and give him life in prison. And everybody says, oh, a ticket. Well, what about a pardon? A pardon will not give Diddy his money back. Once Diddy loses that case in the Fed seat.
Y'all hear that? They trying to bankrupt Diddy. Even if Donald Trump go get Diddy, they don't have to return the money. I don't think that's true. Because that, what's the name of that pastor just got out with his wife? They just got pardoned. They said they had to have their money returned to them. Because a pardon means you didn't do it. So you don't get to keep somebody's money when the pardon saying you didn't do it. So I don't know if Ticket right about that one. Because he said they trying to take his money and the pardon don't mean nothing. I don't know about that. It may take him a while to get his money back, but you see what they did to Kanye, right? As soon as Kanye said something he wasn't supposed to say about the wrong people, Kanye went from 2 billion, I believe, or did he have 5 billion? Kanye was way up in there, billions, 2 to 5 billion. In 1 week, Kanye was only worth 500 million. 500 million. From 2 billion to 500 million in 1 week, that's half your money almost. That's crazy. Am I saying it right? Yeah. That's half your money almost. So, and all he did said the wrong comment. So you know they trying to take Diddy's money.
Just assets or pardon does not help Diddy get his money back. A pardon would only release him from federal prison. Let me show y'all in better depth what I'm talking about. Because this is truly bad. And I'm going to put this on the screen for y'all. The feds don't even need the RICO. That's the, bro, when I was told this, my my jaw drop, man. The feds don't even really need the RICO. If they get him on one sex trafficking, which I know they got him on two, but if they got him on one, bro, if they, man, I don't know what else to tell all y'all, man. Now let me put this in the screen for y'all to see, because a lot of people are going to learn about the law, and we learn more about the law as we see these different cases come up. And I'm going to put this on the screen to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. All right? So let me put this on the screen for y'all. All right, y'all? All right. So here's the different explanation right here. Yes, federal agencies can seize assets related to sex trafficking charges, y'all, including both criminal and civil asset forfeiture.
So y'all see why they said sex trafficking? They can seize his property. Who was that? JK. Somebody just said something to me. Pretty much what I've been saying. If they can get away with this with a billionaire, a poor person ain't got nothing coming, y'all. A lot of y'all sitting there, it ain't my problem, lock him up. But y'all don't understand. If they get away with a billionaire, your poor black butt, white butt, Puerto Rican, red butt, whatever color butt you got, you ain't got nothing coming. So it do mean something. These cases do mean something. This is how laws come about. This is how laws get broken. Because it means something to everybody. I'm going to listen to a few more and then I'm going to let y'all go. Hold on. A few more words.
This comes with a conviction against Diddy. And I'm going to tell y'all why this is so important. And why Diddy wants to get all those civil cases thrown out. Where Kathy's case has been settled. But anybody else that sues Diddy, I think it's another woman that's accusing Diddy of this. But anybody that sues Diddy and accuses him of sex trafficking, if he is found guilty, even in civil court, bro, it gets uglier. Because if Diddy is found guilty in criminal court of sex trafficking, it's a layup for the civil cases, bro. It's a layup. Excuse me, you said why did they set the verdict today? Because they want all the charges. And the feds want to make sure everything's in. They don't want to leave no stone unturned. What I did was I overestimated the RICO charge because I thought the RICO charge was the only charge they could take Diddy's money and his assets. That is not true. I was told by two legal minds tonight that that is not true, Ticket. They hit Diddy with the special sentencing with his sex trafficking charges, which means not only does he face a minimum of 15 years, and he'll probably spend the rest of his life in prison, like you said. If he's found guilty of any of those sex trafficking charges, which he probably will be, which I know he's going to be found guilty for both of them, at least Cassie, they can take, read it right there. I even put on your screen for y'all. Yes, federal agencies can seize assets related to sex trafficking charges.
You know what I don't like about the law? What the hell? Somebody breaking the law got to do with you taking somebody's money. You broke the law and I'm going to take your money. What the hell? It ain't like he robbed a bank and he got to get the money back. What do his money have to do with him paying some escorts? Why do the state get to take his money? Oh, you broke our law with prostitution, we get to take all your money. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And the laws they come up, it's just like, it's entrapment. You damned if you do, you damned if you don't. You got to pay $10 million to fight the case. And then if you lose the case, they get to take all your money. So to me, it's all about money.
Including both criminal and civil asset forfeiture. This can involve seizing cash, property, and other assets that are considered the proceeds of the crime or were used to facilitate the illegal activity. Man, Oh my God, this is why Diddy was going crazy in court today, bro. Diddy probably thought at best case they'd only get him on prostitution. But now that you guys are seeing, they don't even need the RICO, bro. They don't even need the RICO to get Diddy life. All the feds need is one sex trafficking charge. And they can take Diddy's money and the rest of his freedom for the rest of his life.
That's bullshit.
One sex trafficking charge. They don't even need the Jane Doe. They don't even need the 2 prostitutions. They don't even need the RICO. One sex trafficking charge. And they can hit Diddy. And I'm going to say this again to y'all. With life. And take all of his money. Read this again, y'all. Yes, federal agencies can seize assets related to sex trafficking charges, including both criminal and civil asset forfeiture. This can involve seizing cash, property, and other assets that are considered the proceeds of a crime or were used to facilitate the illegal activity. And let me tell y'all why the civil lawsuits are important. Any civil lawsuit that would accuse Diddy of sex trafficking that he would lose, he could potentially be up against asset forfeiture relating to that as well. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Once that verdict come out, more lawsuits, in my opinion, are going.
Now let me tell you why I'm pissed. He facing life. Cassie got 30 million. Daphne Joy, Miss Anonymous, she won 10 million. I think Capricorn and somebody else is suing, right? It look like if he's found guilty, they're gonna get their money. Cassie already got hers. I'm pissed because back in, was it the 90s? When J-Lo was at the club, was it? Yeah, when J-Lo was at the club with them. And the black woman got shot in the face. And she said, Diddy shot me. And he, I don't know if he went to trial or his bodyguard took the case or whatever. That woman didn't get millions and millions of dollars. And she got shot in the nose or something, stuff like that. They didn't take her Diddy to trial. They didn't go raid his homes because of her. She was a victim shot to the face. Then they blew her nose off or something. They know she was hurt. They knew she was hurt. And I didn't see a trial. I didn't see no raid. I didn't see nothing. They didn't do nothing about his daughter being hurt besides taking her to the hospital. Hold on. I mean, not his daughter, the victim being hurt besides taking her to the hospital.
Rain. It is gonna rain once them verdicts come out, man. Here's a more detailed explanation for you guys. Asset forfeiture and federal sex trafficking cases, you guys. Criminal forfeiture. This occurs after a conviction and is part of the sentence for the crime. The government must prove the assets were gained through the criminal activity or used to facilitate it. Let's keep going. Civil forfeiture. This process can happen even if there is no criminal conviction. Let me repeat myself again. The Fed can take Diddy's money on any lawsuit that he loses that claims that they were sex trafficked. The Fed, bro, they are, let me tell you what's fitting to happen in my opinion. It's fitting to rain on this dude, bro. I truly believe after he is found guilty, you will see dozens and tons of more lawsuits rain. Because
That's
now the
bullshit.
floodgates will be open. And what happens is when the Feds see,
If y'all don't think this about a black man with money, something wrong with y'all. We the only ones that go through this on TV. I don't see them talking about nobody else taking their money. That's just too much money for a black man, right? Guess who else that happened to? OJ. OJ won, and they still took his money. They still took his trophies. And he won the case. Even though whatever you may think, it don't matter. He won. And they still was capable to take his things. How can this be justice? Man, come on, man.
These are assets. I told you guys this last week in this video. Those proceeds, they don't all keep them. They hold those proceeds, some of them, to give to all the victims who win legal lawsuits against Diddy.
Oh, shoot.
And if Diddy's convicted in court of some of these crimes in criminal court, it's damn near a layup in civil court, man. They don't need the RICO, bro. This is devastating news for Diddy, bro. They hit him with the special sentencing, which means that he gets no less. I'm seeing people say, oh yeah, he will get out for 10 years. Nigga, if he get hit the RICO, he don't get no less than 15 years. That's the minimum. Minimum 15 years. Minimum to life. Civil case forfeiture. This process can happen even if there is no criminal conviction.
That's what I was saying. Is it Beniqua? That's what I was saying. Maybe it's not guilty. You know why I'm thinking it might be not guilty? Because I remember watching Make It Make Sense. And he's there. And he said the particular black woman, one of the black women, I think it's only two of them. She an older woman. She was like agreeing with Diddy's defense, smiling. Pretty much like a grandmother figure. Like, yeah, you know. She was agreeing with everything. I can't see her saying he guilty. So maybe the 11 people saying guilty and the one saying not guilty, we don't know yet. But everybody thinking the worst. And Diddy, of course he's on pin and needles. Of course he's crying. Of course he's nervous because his life, his destiny depends on these 12 people. I'll probably be crying so hard, they probably make me leave the courtroom in my own case. But Diddy, I must commend Diddy. He taking it like a G to the chin. He haven't wavered. He haven't told on nobody. He haven't blackmailed nobody. He's taking it to the chin. So he is eating crow right now. He doing what he's supposed to do as a man. He eating it.
Government must demonstrate a connection between the assets and the crime. But the standard of proof is lower than in a criminal forfeiture. Types of assets. The government can seize various types of assets, including his cash, bank accounts, vehicles, real estate, and other property used in or gained from sex trafficking operation. Purpose of forfeiture. Asset forfeiture is a way to...
Y'all hear that, man? They can take anything from Diddy that he used for transporting or like spending money. So, if you meet somebody, they pay for you a plane ticket to come to Houston. You go to Houston. You mess with him. You get in an argument. You go back home and say he just sex trafficked you. He paid for you to come down there and y'all had sex. That's prostitution, as they claim. But let me see how technical they are. This is what Mecca was saying. You have to state what time, what date you're talking about. Otherwise, it's too broad. You cannot say, he sex trafficked me and flew me down somewhere and I slept with him. And that's prostitution. Because what about the times that you was down there, you didn't get no gifts, you didn't get no money, y'all was just horny, you slept with him? See what I'm saying? So they try to use the whole thing like, yep, that one time. But how we know that one time they didn't want to do that? So there's a bunch of lies in between there and they play with that. Because 9 times 10, if you flying out to see somebody, you're going to have sex with them. And this is the other part I don't like. You go down there, you have sex with them, you have a good time, you go back home, you text them for some money, and they say, nah, I really ain't feeling you like that, you know, I don't think we need to talk no more. She gets mad. She called the police, say you sex trafficker, right? Now you cannot just come for his money. You can go for his car, his mansion, and everything. Now you suing him because you pissed off and might end up with his mansion. Do you understand me? That shit is crazy, man.
Disrupt and deter human trafficking operations, as well as provide funds to compensate the victims and support law enforcement efforts. Legal basis, y'all. Federal agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the IRS have the authority to seize assets
Wow.
related to criminal activity, including human trafficking. This
Now I can understand. They taking your money if you selling drugs, you selling women, you was gaining money through that activity. But if you an artist and you the founder of Sean John, and the way you got your money have nothing to do with how you spend it, how the hell they gonna take it because of that? That shit crazy. I'm gonna take your money for sex trafficking, her, but what my money got to do with it? You see what I'm saying? This is crazy.
could involve seizing the proceeds from a business used for sex trafficking, a vehicle used to transport victims, or a bank account used to launder money from illegal activity. And to the person, Thomas McDowell, who says, Ticket, are you happy he's going to prison? I'm just asking. Thomas, I'm sad that a man who was blessed and given so much, who was put in a position in life to win, when so many people are never able to get to that position in life. I am sad when a man uses his position to abuse, assault, beat, sexually assault, berate, mentally abuse, psychologically abuse multiple women. I am sad that we have people like you who will come in here and get on your knees and spit shoe shine a human walking disgrace in Sean John Combs. He will go to prison for the rest of his life. At the end of the day, you can't beat God, buddy. And what God wanted to be, that's what it's going to be, Playboy. It doesn't matter how loud the demons scream and how much they holler. It's over, brother. Diddy had won the game in life, and he chose to take this route. So now he has to deal with the consequences.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go to sleep because he's going on and on. But Ticket TV, he already made up his mind. Diddy's guilty. He's saying it's gonna be a guilty verdict. I don't know. I don't know what they doing. I really, to the point, I don't care no more. It's like draining. I'll let you know when I find out more things. I hope y'all have a good night. Be safe. Stay out the way. Don't argue too much about politics. Don't argue too much about Diddy. Just be mutual and say, hey, I come to eat. If you go out to dinner, like, I come to eat, I ain't come to talk. Because people are never going to be on one side of the team. They're just not. Y'all have a good night. I'll talk to y'all in the morning. I'm extremely tired. I will talk to y'all in the morning. Please show some love by pushing the thumbs up. Get me there. I greatly appreciate it. Peace.